experience. It's not just the art genre, it's a way of looking at life. In
Yo,
my
that's
opinion,
crazy.
why I feel
Like,
Afrofuturism stands out from other types of just black manga or things of that nature is that manga inherently is cultural.
sort of explaining what the inspiration for Bold Saga, and kind of just even the, I guess if you want to give like a mini run through that isn't spoiling too much of like kind of like the context of it.
Bold Saga is an Afrofuturism manga that follows Misego Umnata on his journey to be the next Anansi like his role model Shaka Zulu. But first he has to overcome tests and trials and a rite of passage that leads to a supernatural encounter where he finds out what it truly means to be bold. But he can't do it alone. That's why he needs the help of um, Boipelo, Shani, Mbali, and Ashanti as they journey from Earth to the stars to reclaim a relic and stop an ancient enemy empire. And
Mm,
how I got into making Bold Saga, the context was that, grew up on all these superheroes and all these manga, and I said, you know what? One day, while I was helping my dad, I was like, I need to make something that can stand the test of time. I can't just keep drawing logos and graphic design. I need something timeless. So I was like, I need a manga because I'm actually a video game developer. I've already done that. I have an not a degree, but I have a certificate in it. 2D
got
game
you.
development design. Because I love video games. That's one of the things that helped me
Yeah.
stay the course of manga. So I said I need to make something different. I already did 4 years of failing to make my own video game, so I have to switch it up because I just got married. I'm like, it can't happen anymore. So I was like,
Got you.
why don't I do something different? Spider-Man already exists, Batman, Naruto, One Piece, these things already exist. But what about something different? What about a different hero? I was like, what about a Nancy? I'm like, oh yes, and Nancy. And then I was like, I need to add something else to it. And then that's how I got the idea of adding a Nancy as Shaka Zulu. And instead of making it like a spider god or spider character, he's
Yeah.
actually a human, and a Nancy is the title. And then from
Mm,
there, I just got into the deep dive of Afrofuturism because Black Panther had just came out. I already saw Black Sands, Tuskegee Airs, Maddie's Rocket, all
mhm.
these amazing creators, and I was like, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. So for the people that will watch this or are watching currently, can you explain Afrofuturism for them?
Okay, no problem. So what Afrofuturism is it's a modality. It's a cultural experience. It's not just the art genre, it's a way of looking at life. In my opinion, it's about celebrating Black excellence instead of highlighting Black pain. And at the core and at the nexus of Afrofuturism is African culture. And then around that core is imagination, liberation, technology, and mysticism. Because faith is integral to African culture. I don't care what
Mm.
anyone says.
Yeah.
You look at the African kingdoms, they all have their own beliefs, their own knowledge. They have a connection to a higher power we know is God, but others have other connections and things of that nature. So one way or another, faith is relevant and it's a part of the culture. So the
Yeah.
reason why I feel Afrofuturism stands out from other types of just black manga or things of that nature is that manga inherently is cultural, which I love. It's the ramen, the samurais, the speaking
Mm.
Japanese, speaking French, Russian, all the languages. It's inherently cultural. What Afrofuturism does is that it celebrates the past, it interrogates the present, and it reimagines the future. But it
Got
does
you.
it with an actual African or Afrocentric view.
Wow. Yeah, that's dope. I'm big on so this whole channel, right? Is just anime relatable, right? Where I'm taking these stories that like a lot of people love and characters that a lot of people love and relating them to our personal experience or relating to our reality in general. Because in some way, shape, or form, like everyone, I feel like everyone that I know like has grown up on Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and for some reason they find themselves relating to these stories, but they don't necessarily see these people looking like them. And you know, I think some people say like, hey, like, why is it a big deal that you have to have like a person that looks like you to be represented in a story? And I'm just like, that's a really big deal because if you only see characters that just look like another person, and then when you see someone like I think for example why Black Panther was so big because you saw a superhero that looked exactly like me and you, right? And it's like people get inspired from that. People get excited about that. And not saying that, hey, we're trying to take over everything. It's just like, hey, like there needs to be something here. And I'm excited that like you're doing that, right? Like you, Black Sands, like a lot of different of my manga friends that they're doing this, right? And you guys are like leading the way and making this happen, right? And I think and you just like yes, right. Like we're like, I think in our reality, we're hoping for a better day, right? And I think we're well on that. We should be on that way. That we're well on our way there. But in your story, you're making that happen where it's like, hey, we don't have to stay like this, right? Like we're moving to something better. And I think in your main character, Masego, right?
Yeah, Masego.
He's dope. Like immediately right off the bat, like I resonated with him so much. Where it's just like, you know, he's been trying to take this exam for like forever, right? And he's been trying, failing, trying, failing, trying, failing. And this is at the very moment. I'm spoiling people for whoever hasn't seen it. Sorry about that. But when he was like, hey, like I've been training, I've been working hard. I'm gonna get it this time. I'm gonna become a warrior because I've been working hard. Like nobody can stop me now. And the fact that, and you were like, hey, he has to face his enemy that he felt that fell before. I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. Like that's like I felt so like resonated with that because it's like how many times do I like face something that like I feel like I've been failing over and over again, and it's like this last time I'm just like, all right, bet I'm gonna make it happen, and then it just doesn't happen. I'm just like, oh dang, okay. Like so when that was in there, I was like, wow, this is amazing. I think later into the story, and this is at the end of chapter one. I'm giving all the spoilers. I told you not to give spoilers, but I'm giving spoilers. Like at the end of chapter one, he basically gets he basically gets his power, right? And like what I found so significant in that is that you like kind of give a theme where it's like kind of reflecting on like on the story of David, right? Where it's like, hey, he wasn't chosen because he like, you know, like was this powerful big guy or whatever, but like I was like, hey, don't look at the outward appearance, look at the heart, look at the character. And yo, when Masego got chosen for it, I was like, oh yo, that's a David story right there, look at that. So yo, kudos to you for putting that in your story. But I think that's needed, right? You mentioned like kind of the manga anime tropes that are in there that sell, right? I think at the end of the day, like when we're talking about like Christianity, when we're talking about our faith and living it out, it's like God's looking at our integrity, how we're representing Him, and I think what you're doing is big. Like I'm all for like, yo, Christians taking their faith and using it in various different places. And I think, and especially in art and manga and comics, like, yo, that's huge. So I appreciate you for that. I'm really excited to read the next few chapters. Got left on the cliffhanger for chapter two. So I got to buy another book. So I'm gonna get with that. But